Good evening. It is Tuesday, the 7th of December. Wow, what can I say? Just over 2 weeks and it's Christmas. Yep. So, and tonight in the show, we do have Leighton joining us. Welcome to the show, Leighton.
Thank you.
So,
and good evening, everyone.
We will have later on in the show tech news with Leighton because I know he's got a few bits to bring up. But first of all, we do have your news, which I know we do talk about quite a bit. So we'll have the COVID update first. And the cases, 45,691. Now, yesterday that was plus 9.1%. Today it's gone up to plus 12.1%. What's your reactions on that one, Leighton?
I think it's a lot of it is down to this new variant that they are saying is more transmissible, but they don't know how dangerous it actually is.
No, I know we were just talking about that before we went live. This new variant, this Omicron, there's over, I can't remember the exact figure now, but there's over 300 cases now within the UK. I know there's more found today, which wasn't good. And yeah, it's certainly showing within the figures. It's definitely showing up. Deaths 180. That went from minus 0.2% yesterday to plus 3% today. So that's a big jump.
But also the other thing to consider as well is we're now coming into winter. In fact, it feels like winter now, and viruses fail this weather.
Oh yes, definitely. I totally agree with you on that one. And in hospitals, 713. Yesterday was minus 0.8%. Today is a minus 0.1%. So again, that's moved back towards the zero. So all those figures aren't good, in my opinion. What's your overall view on that? Those sort of stats there, Leighton?
It's a tough one. Like I said a little while ago, is that viruses love this kind of weather, and then you also got the flu to throw into the mix as well.
Oh yes, totally. I do agree with you on that one. It's a difficult one to call, but the figures alone, there's not a lot really you can say about that, is it? There's the stats talk for themselves, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
We're on the increase going up.
But you're also finding that in Europe, in the rest of Europe as well.
Oh yes, totally. It's not just in our country. No, it is across. Well,
in fact, I think Europe is actually a few weeks ahead of us.
Yeah, it's worse across the world. It's not just it's bad across the whole world, not just Europe. A lot of countries are still facing a lot of this, which isn't good. But moving on to the actual news, again we have got some COVID within this. Travel bans are ineffective and will not stop Omicron, the WHO says. Not sure whether I agree with this.
I think I do agree. Because the thing is, it's all well and good stopping flights to the UK, having redlist countries, but there's ways around it. You can fly somewhere and then fly to the UK, so you get a connecting flight elsewhere to get into the UK.
Yeah, but it's not just the UK putting these countries on the red list.
Yeah, and the thing is, not every country is on everyone's red list, for example. So I'm going to make some countries up, for example, because I don't know who's on the red list. But say, for example, Greece was on the red list.
Yeah.
They may not necessarily be on Ireland's red list. So you get a flight from Greece to Ireland, and then Ireland to the UK, and then you bypass the red list.
No, you can't. That's the thing. because if you're, say for instance, you're flying into, I'm going to use your example, say Greece is on our red list, and you fly to Ireland to come across to here, it will flag up in Ireland that you've come from Greece, and they won't allow you into the UK.
I never knew that.
So connecting flights do count as well. So if you've departed within a certain amount of time from the red listed countries, you will not get into the UK.
Okay, I never knew that.
So yeah, no, that's one of the things that I was looking around on that one because I thought that personally, but if you're flying directly from Ireland to here without a connecting flight, then yes, you can fly. But
and also the other thing to remember as well is the UK and Ireland have a common travel area, so Ireland is classed as domestic anyway for the most part.
Yeah. So no, they have put things in place to cover that one, which is good. But I'm not sure whether I actually agree with this. I do feel that the bans are needed because, for instance,
they are.
Where you got South Africa, for instance, that big variant in South Africa. Now, not being funny, if people flew in from South Africa, then it could be a lot worse.
It could be.
Than what we are now. My personal opinion, and this is my personal opinion, is close all borders.
I agree with you on that. Don't let anyone in. The only people you allow in is deliveries.
Yeah, just close all borders. Drop the trailers at the ports.
Yep.
And then let our drivers take them from the ports.
Yep.
And I'd say that do that for about 6 weeks because I tell you, it probably would come down a lot.
Well, that's effectively what Australia and New Zealand have done. I know the population in these countries are smaller than ours.
Yes.
But they did that and it was effective.
Yeah. Because you can bring, not being funny, I know for a fact that ports have articulated lorries. So you could put the trailers on to drop the trailers, say, at the Port of Calais.
Yep.
Let the staff at the port put them onto the put them onto the ferry. They bring them off, and then our drivers take them.
Yeah.
So we could still get the stuff into the country.
Yeah.
So the second headline, again, it is quite a distressing headline. It's not to do with COVID. Warnings ignored in broken system, say grandparents of Arthur Labinjo Hughes. He's the poor child that did go through abuse. It was reported to social services. It was reported to the police. But they still thought it was okay to leave him in the care of the step-parent and father, who were jailed this week for his murder. Now, I know the UK are asking at the moment over social media on the 18th of December to do a 1-minute clap on your doorsteps for him, which could be quite a good thing to do. But also, I know there was a big meeting today within the social services. The government were involved, and I know police and that were involved to bring in tougher penalties or tougher laws within like the home and that. I don't know what's come out of that meeting yet. I will keep an eye on that.
The only thing for certain is they need to do more.
Yes.
Because you've seen this time and time again.
Well,
it makes me think back to that baby P.
I was just about to say the same. This is another case of that baby P. It's not good. There's nowhere near. And they do need tougher laws now.
Yeah, they do.
It is a difficult one, but it doesn't. I just feel for the grandparents on this one, because I think it was grandparents that actually reported it to social services.
Yeah.
and basically saying warnings ignored. And I thought, yeah, so not good at all, that one. 1 year since UK's first COVID jab today, with 6.4 million remain unvaccinated. That's a
Well,
lot.
that 6.4 million could be many things, though.
It could be.
You probably get the ones. I think it's a combination of the anti-vaxxers,
Yes.
the ones who think who've had the virus and think they're invincible and immune because they've already had it, and also those that won't have the injection for other reasons.
If the thing is, if you actually say, for instance, yourself, I'm just going to use you as an example, can't have the injection, but for medical reasons, you will go down on the record as having it done, but not having it done, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So it could be this is more anti-vaxxers, or it could even be kids as well, because
I know, kids, especially teenagers,
I know
they think they're invincible.
Yeah, I know for a fact that they've only just rolled it out to kids, though. That's what I'm saying. It's not.
Yeah.
So not all the kids may have been done yet.
What I'm talking about is teenagers. People like my brother, who's currently in uni.
Yes.
He had the virus within a couple of weeks of going to uni, and because he's had COVID, he thinks he's invincible.
Not a lot I can say to that one, really. I've not had COVID myself, but as soon as the booster's available, I'll have it done.
Yeah, I mean, I had my booster done a month ago. As soon as I was offered it, I took it.
Yes. So Tottenham could do with a booster. You know that.
Well, Antonio Conte in the Premier League, since he took over, he hasn't lost a game in the Premier League.
This is very true.
3-1.
So, moving on to the quiz question today. I took the true and false one off the page. So, if you know the answer, go to the page and answer it. The Tate Gallery in London once suspended a 22-foot Christmas tree upside down as a work of art. I actually find that quite amusing. Fancy putting a Christmas tree upside down.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether on that one. It's the Tate Museum, so I've got my opinion on that one. Yes. I know Emmy was meant to be joining us tonight, but Emmy will be joining me on Thursday night because she's not back yet from her long weekend away now. It's getting even longer because of the weather up in Scotland. She was meant to travel back home today, but...
Isn't this normal weather for Scotland, though?
Isn't it just normal weather for Scotland? Oh, I'm waiting for comments. I'm waiting for comments. There's going to be comments on that one. I know there will be. So, so Emmy will be joining me Thursday night. So, yes. I think you might have got away with that one, Leighton. Out and about, and I have chosen Scotland today. I've found the picture online of Glasgow's Christmas lights, and I'm going to try and not get this wrong. I think it's George Square. They've got the big wheel and the Christmas market, and it's all lit up, which looks really nice, to be fair. So that's the picture I've put up today. What's on twos? Well, tonight you do have games night with Natalie. Tomorrow night there will be guest the intro with George, and so that will be good. Friday night there will be no pub social this week, so just to let people know, but that will be back week on Friday. So TV picks of the day for tomorrow night. Emmerdale at ITV at 7 p.m, not 9 p.m, like I've written up there for some reason. I don't know why that was, but 7 p.m. And Coronation Street on ITV at 7:30 p.m. So there must be something big happening in the soaps tomorrow. We will find that out from Ems, because she will be joining us on a Friday. Tomorrow night's show, you will have George and Leighton, so there will be another penalty shootout. Let's see who wins that, and let's see what teams they get, because they don't even know themselves yet. And we will be reading out your FA Cup draw, because that was last night as well.
Yep.
So that'll be in tomorrow night's show. Food finds. Well, there's been a few today. And Emmy, you'll be happy to know there's nothing chocolate orange.
Speaking of chocolate orange, when I was out doing my Christmas shopping, I did try Costa's hot chocolate orange.
Oh, yeah.
It was nice, but not as good as it was a couple of years ago.
Well, talking of that, they actually last night on the show we had chocolate orange cupcakes, but also there was a Terry's chocolate orange, but toffee flavour. So
Okay.
that could be quite nice if I'm honest. But starting tonight's food finds, you have got all butter gingerbread latte cookies.
That does sound nice.
They do actually, yes, to be fair. They're the best, so they'd be from Morrison's. Also, the next one, Hershey's Cookies and Cream ice cream cake.
Now that does sound nice. I'm a big fan of cookies and cream ice cream anyway.
Yeah.
So I think I'll probably like that.
That would, yes, you probably would. And then the next one, staying on that sort of line, After 8 Viennetta. Now that does
sound interesting. I do like Viennetta, so
yes,
I might have to get one of those.
I do like Viennetta. I'm not sure where they are, but they've got £2.25 special price on them. So I'll
keep a lookout for that.
Yep.
And if I find out, I'll let everyone know.
Definitely. And then the other one today is staying on the same line, and this one's more for the kids. Santa's Cookies and Milk. So for Christmas Eve to put out. So yeah, there's that, which most of those finds are quite good today, to be fair. Castle News. Now, last night we did see the departure of Kadena. So that's Arlene and Kadena now left the castle. And I can't think what her name is from BBC, but who's in it? Oh, the breakfast presenter and Kadena both done the trial last night, and took back all 10 stars. So that was good as well. Naughty Boy still sort of being himself in there. I think there's still a little bit of uproar over him doing all the trials up till now. But apart from that, there's not much more to bring you tonight. I will be watching it later, and I will let you know what happens tomorrow night. Moving on to Emily's Kitchen. And today's recipe that went up on the website was a non-alcoholic mocktail. It's not got alcohol in it. What do I want that for? God dear.
Especially this time of year.
Exactly. But no, so for the people that don't drink, you can still do mocktails, so that's good. So that recipe is on the website today. We're now moving over to Leighton for the tech news.
Right. There's a couple of bits of tech news that I've noticed over the last couple of days. And one of them is kind of interconnected with the other, and this is Wi-Fi 7. I know we've only just got Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 6E, but they're already working on Wi-Fi 7. And one of the big things that is going to be coming to Wi-Fi is Halo, which is going to be a new bandwidth for devices that are classed as IoT. So, say for things like your smart lighting, your smart TVs, it will all work under that spectrum. So it doesn't interfere with the stuff that needs a larger bandwidth and faster speeds.
All right.
So that is interesting. And so that's the two bits of Wi-Fi news. And the other big news, so I remember you asking me more about the partnership between MoveIt and WeWalk.
Yes.
Right. So WeWalk have actually got a smart cane, and MoveIt more work on the transport side for people that are visually impaired or blind.
Right.
And the way this is going to work is, say for example, the smart cane, it links to an app on your smartphone, but within that, it will also give you bus arrival times and what buses are coming next. So it'll make it easier for people that are blind or visually impaired to be able to get on public transport.
But there's already apps out there like that, isn't there?
There is,
Yeah.
but do they integrate with a cane? This would. Because I would imagine the canes use Bluetooth to communicate with your iPhone or your Android phone.
Yeah.
And you'll get an alert on your cane, and you also might have an earpiece. It'll say, for example, this bus is coming, and you're at this bus stop.
That
as an example, and I think something like that could make a big difference to a lot of people.
Not putting it down. That's one thing. I do think it's a good idea, but it's whether the bus firms are willing to pay out the money for the technology to be put onto their buses.
It doesn't really have anything to do with the buses though, because if you think TfL, you can get all the live departures within the TfL app, and I would imagine TfL get their data from MoveIt as well, or MoveIt get their bus data from TfL, and vice versa.
Yeah, but that's what I'm on about. Like the bus companies, for instance, I know for a fact that I've been on. I use Canterbury for example on this one. I've been on the Stagecoach app. It tells me on the Stagecoach app that the bus at this stop is leaving at this time.
Yeah, but the other thing with this as well, it means someone may not have to get their smartphone out of their pocket.
Oh yeah.
To actually to listen to that notification, they'll get the notification and get it through an earpiece, and it'll be voice that will tell them that this bus is coming.
I'm just not.
It's just something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on.
Yeah.
And if I do get any updates on it,
I think the idea is a very good idea. I'm just thinking in practical, is it going to work everywhere? Because the problem we have, and
it's not quite a level playing field, for example.
The problem we
and I can relate to that because I know in London, on the buses, you'll get an audio cue telling you you're coming to this stop.
Yes.
But in Milton Keynes, for example, yeah, you got the visual notifications on a screen, but you don't get the voice notification.
But what I was going to say, because the problem I find with all this technology, don't get me wrong, it is good, and I do, but they trial it in London. Not everywhere is like London. That's the problem.
Exactly. So if they do trial it, they need to trial it in different places all around the country.
Yeah, because they need to even go into little villages and places like that. Because I'm not being funny. You might go somewhere on holiday, and then your cane's lost. If your cane's lost, you're lost.
Yeah.
So I think, like I say, in theory, yes, I think it's a bloody brilliant idea. But in practical, is it actually going to work everywhere? I think that's going to be the bigger issue at the moment.
Yeah. It's something that I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on, just see how things develop.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I do know someone in the tech group that is actually getting a WeWalk cane, and I'll ask them for an update, what they can tell me about it.
Yeah.
and hopefully I'll get some
So do we know what
feedback
price?
in regards to that.
Do we know what price these WeWalk canes are?
I don't. I will take a look into that though.
Yeah, if we can find out, because that would be interesting. Because I know, for instance, my cane at the moment might cost me £25. That's just off the top of my head price.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see how much these WeWalk canes are. And then there's the fact of, will there then be a monthly subscription for this other part of the app?
Yeah.
So,
that's something I need to keep an eye on as well.
So
a lot of apps are doing that now.
Yeah. So
they're adopting the subscription model because it earns them more money.
Yes. So the thing is, are you going to be paying out, say, for instance, for this WeWalk Bluetooth cane, £150, and that's just
and then like
£3
a month for all the updates.
Exactly, because then that cane's going to cost you £36 a year then.
Yeah.
And not being funny, if you actually work it out in an easier way of doing this, is you could then get yourself a normal cane, get a slightly better phone, and it'd be free.
Yeah.
So you have to weigh up the odds, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, it's just one to keep an eye on.
Oh, definitely. I totally agree with you. I like I said, in principle, I do think it's a good idea, but there's a lot of things to look at when it comes to the practical things, like cost and so. Is there anything else in the tech market though? Anything new?
There isn't. At the moment, everything's dwindling down for Christmas.
Yeah.
I did see something in regards to Android 12 and there being some apps that are getting into the Google Play Store. I can't remember what these apps were, but one thing to keep an eye on is make sure if you're not using any of the apps on your phone and your microphone or your camera has been activated, it's definitely worth checking that out because it could mean that someone is getting through your phone.
Right.
Or accessing your microphone and your camera when they shouldn't be.
Interesting. Yes. So keep an eye on your phones, everybody. So, right. Well, Leighton will be back with us tomorrow, along with George, because we've got the sports show tomorrow, and we're going to have sort of let you know the FA Cup draw. I think it's the third round, isn't it?
Yeah, it is the third round.
Yes.
I think that draw was made yesterday, wasn't it?
It was 7 p.m. last night, so that's why I'm bringing it to the show tomorrow night. And it'd be quite interesting because some of the teams, I had a quick look through, and it does look quite interesting.
Tottenham have got Morecambe at home.
Yep, and Nottingham Forest has got Arsenal at home. So
that is interesting.
But I will go through the whole of the draw tomorrow. But don't forget, guys, you can find us on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, and Discord, and not forgetting the website www.theworldofsocialite.co.uk. And that is it for me tonight. And I thank Leighton once again for being on the show.
Not a problem.